Hello, testing.
How you doing, Steve?
I am good, Rob. How are you, sir?
Doing great, man. Been real busy. Lots of layout progress in the last month, actually, for us.
Good.
Yeah. Stuff's coming along. How's the second sub doing?
It's doing great. We
Good to hear.
had our first ever real operating session in March. It was the area's biannual layout design OPSIG meet. So it was trial by fire. I had one op session with just locals to try and do a shakedown, and it shook. And then we had the
Eh,
two real operating sessions with out of towners, and it went well, but it definitely, if I'd have had the luxury of waiting another year or even a few months, I would have been better. But now I'm pretty good. I'm operating, and uh, the cats is the least of my problems. It works great.
good.
And
Good to hear it.
When Rodney does get on, I'm going to want to talk about intermediate signals and how those are done
Gotcha.
because my railroad's so big now. I have need of those and I have room for those, but I never had them on the third sub, and there's just a few nuances I'm not exactly sure how to treat. Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear you guys are doing well, and we finally started on scenery for the new second sub because that thing is, I would say, complete as far as tracking, track work, wiring, block detection, signals, all of that, except for the intermediate.
Nice.
Yeah,
Excellent. Yeah, we just did our last cut um in the last 2 weeks, so our layout is 100% ABS is complete now.
awesome.
And
All
and
right.
yeah, it's quite the feat. I mean, it's taken us 4 years to get there, so we're real happy. LCC, it's doing its job. It's we're so happy with it. And then
Well, I wanted to do that, and I still want to learn it, but I was already heavily invested and had infrastructure in place for the Digitrax LocoNet system, and it wasn't without its challenges. So,
right.
um, hindsight, I probably would have gone LCC, and I may one day convert, but I was up against a deadline of about 100 people coming to town to operate, and my railroad was the one that takes the most operators. So if I had to drop out, it would have been a bad situation. So I
Right. Right.
probably didn't do the smartest thing, but I did what I thought was best for the greater good, and that is I just pushed ahead and ripped off the band-aid.
Yep. No, yeah, you couldn't do anything experimental. You needed to do the tried and true to make your deadline there.
Yeah, now I'm starting to experiment with things.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I want to ask Rodney here. We get the chance, I because he sent me a beta version to test for the couple nuances of issues we had, and I gotta mention that to him here. But
Well,
no,
you
we
can
were.
go first. He's on. I'm still
No,
eating my
I
dinner,
see
so
that.
I'll
Yeah,
think.
I see you just got on there. But no, like I said, we're real pleased where we're at. We're actually a little bit ahead on the calendar than where we thought we would be. So, like I said, with the ABS working the way we want to, we're really pleased. And then a couple of our other guys jumped into taking the project on and putting the resistors on all the cars. And then we've had a couple other guys jump in. So we've had like four guys working on them. They've pumped out about 120 cars in the last 3 weeks. So they're really doing a real good job with that. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be able to do a full CTC session.
Yeah, that
And
is a big job.
yeah,
The
yeah,
resistor wheel is no small task.
yeah. No, the other Rodney who's usually on, he's actually at dinner right now. He might stop in here in a little while, but he was over at the layout Tuesday night, and there were four of them working on resistors, and they had him like in an assembly line, and he's like they were banging out a car like every 5 minutes, and testing them, and every single one worked. They got 35 cars done the other night, so
Huh.
uh, So yeah, it's been really good. It's been a real good group effort here, and
Yeah, I have a good group. If it wasn't for that, I'd never be where I am.
yep, that's what it is for us, definitely. And everybody has their own little niche that there's no conflicts. Everybody just does their thing, and it's integrating quite well. So yeah, we're pretty happy with where we're at right now. So, Mr. Black, well, actually both Blacks, but how's Mr. Black in Denver tonight?
He's doing good.
Good, good to hear. How's the weather out there?
It's starting to get warm at upper 80s today. We're into a spring pattern where afternoons we typically get a thunder shower of some form running through, and we need the water, so often we get more lightning than rain, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, we went about 2 months straight where it was just raining all the time, and in the last, I think 11 days now we've had just sunshine and like no clouds. It's just been sunny and 70s every day. It's been absolutely perfect here. So, but yeah, two months of Noah's Ark, some misery out there, and finally made it through. So things have been much brighter here in Western New York the last couple weeks.
Excellent.
Yeah, but all right, so Rodney, I tested what you sent me with the beta version, and there was no change in behavior on the diamond or on the route sticking. And I'm not sure, maybe I did something on my end, or maybe I didn't, I did something wrong, is what I'm wondering. Was there any other file I needed to edit or change or anything other than the jar that you sent me?
No,
Okay, because I was able to save it as a jar, putting it in my Google Drive, and was able to download it at the uh, computer at the layout and just replaced the cat's 3.0 jar, moved that to another folder, moved the one you send me 3.0.3 into the JMRI folder where cats is, and cats loaded perfectly fine, and there was no change and
okay.
in either fix.
Okay, thing to do then is bring up cats and do help about and make sure that is the 303 and not the 301.
I did that, and
And it's
it was showing as 3.0.3 because that was one thing I was wondering about.
okay. Well, I'll have to check it, make sure I sent you the right one then.
Okay, no, that's fine. I guess there was no change. It was the reactions were exactly the same. I'd go to line across the diamond and it was showing no obstructed route was found. And when I was running the sim with the same areas that I've tested in the past, the line in the signal behind going the other direction, it was the arrow would come up, the green arrow would come up or anything like that, but the signal was still showing as white. So the route was not coming in, and the aspect was not changing in the field.
Okay, I'll check that jar file again then.
Okay, that's fine. I just thought maybe I did something on my end that was causing it to not work properly, but yeah, that was the only file I moved, just per your instructions there.
Hmm. Nope, that's the only one that should change.
Okay, yeah, that's what I could tell you for now. Was that there was no change to either fix for what you had in there. Everything else worked fine. I loading the program, startup, all the other features, everything worked just like a champ, just like it's supposed to. It was just those two issues. So next time I get over there, hopefully in the next week, I'll try it again and see if anything changed. But then I can let you know. But yeah, I wanted to see if there was anything I did wrong there.
Nope, nothing I can, if you got the 3.03 on the version number, then you did everything right.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I can report from our end.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, Rodney, Steve Davis here. How are you these days?
I'm good. How about you, Steve?
I am really good. Um, Wanted to bring up, first of all, just thank you. The CATS program is just wonderful. I think I'm using the latest full release version, and it is working quite well. Love some of the features like the NX routing.
Hmm.
And next thing I want to add, and this is now just the fun stuff because it's working in terms of I don't have any big, horrible problem that I need to come to you with. That's the best part. But I'd like to add intermediate signals. I have some places for them and I have blocks where they would go, but I wasn't exactly sure the full process. I've read the manual, and I guess maybe I'm either just getting older and my comprehension isn't what it once was, but I'm not quite certain. So let me try by asking a few questions.
Sure.
Assuming I have a control point, which would be absolute signals, maybe the
Hmm.
end of a siding, right? So you got a signal off the main, a signal off the siding, and then a double-headed signal into the junction.
Right. The
Now, the
triad.
next block, maybe let's just say the next three blocks will not be, will be uh, just intermediate. And my understanding is you don't need a signal for the first one because when you clear the absolute signal into that block, he has clear, or at least a yellow or something. And then at the end of that first block, I want, I guess it would just be ABS. I think I put a layout signal, but not a panel signal. Does that sound right?
Yep. That sounds right.
And do I change the discipline of that block to ABS and not CTC?
Okay. It's going to depend. And what it depends upon is that there are my reading of the way things work, and it tends to be very prototypical railroad dependent. Is
Right.
the question is what is the indication, the aspect on an intermediate when there is no route through it? Okay.
Okay.
And there are two answers to that. And this is where I think it's very prototype dependent. One answer is it's red because there's no route through it.
Well,
Okay.
that sounds like an absolute, but okay, let me hear the other
Okay.
option.
Okay. And that tends to be what I see on most model railroads. If you don't have a route through the intermediate, then it's a red. If you read more up the definitions and the things like Bruce Chubb's implementation and stuff like that, he says that intermediates are automatic block signals. So,
Right.
okay, so the question is, what's an automatic block signal? And it is one that responds to the things around it. Okay, and the dispatcher has no control over it. And there are two examples of an automatic block signal. One would be an ABS, and the other would be absolute permissive APB.
Yes.
Okay, so if you think about, suppose you've got two intermediates, right?
Yeah, and I might.
Okay, right. Okay, then what do you want to happen when the dispatcher sets a route through those in one direction? You definitely want them to um, um, become automatic in the sense that they reflect the condition of the blocks behind them.
Yes.
And furthermore, what do you want to happen to the opposing signals? Okay.
Yeah.
If they're ABS, pure ABS, then when the dispatcher sets the route, then nothing will happen in either direction because the default behavior of ABS is they give you a, you know, a clear and approach or
Right.
something like something other than stop. And that would be both directions.
Right.
Okay. Um, and that somehow, you know, that doesn't seem real safe. Rather, you should get a tumble down in the reverse direction to all stops because you have a traffic lock, as they say, on those intermediates.
Okay.
So they should, you would think that the opposing direction then would go to red. So if you set your discipline between on your blocks between your control points as ABS, well, it's going to do two things. One is that cats won't set a route through it because setting a route through ABS is kind of nonsensical.
Okay.
The reason being is because, you know, if you look at how they're implementing everything, there's nothing that the intermediates don't have what are typically called, you know, vital logic locks in them.
Right.
So setting a route through an ABS doesn't make any sense. And we utilize that fact in yards and things like that. So, but
I'm
what we,
glad you told me that because I wasn't aware of it. And so my feeble attempts were exactly that. I set up ABS, but then I found I couldn't clear a route into it.
right.
And I was scratching my head, hence my question. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, if you make them APB though, then cats kind of twists the game a little bit. If you make them APB, then, you know, the way absolute permissive works is as soon as a train clears the head block, in other words, clears the control point, then all the opposing signals drop down to red.
I love it.
Okay, so consequently, then when if you make them APB, then when the dispatcher sets a route through them, it behaves as though the train passed the head block and all the opposing routes, all the opposing signals drop to red. Okay, so short, the answer to your question then is if you want the default behavior of your intermediate blocks to be red, in other words, when there is no route through them, then you leave them as CTC. If you want them to act more like automatic signals, then make them APB. And you will be able
Okay.
to set a route through it.
Because I had a friend who wanted some intermediates, but he wanted them to be on his board. So I set him to CTC, and that means you have to manually clear each one. And I don't want to have to do that because he's supposed to be an intermediate.
Right. So no, the answer to your question about what's on the board and not on the board is not the protocol you're using. It is in the signal definition
Ah,
if it has on the panel or on the layout or both.
okay. I think I understand. And what I want then, the way you've described it, I think this is what I want, is I would
Thanks.
like the APB approach so that signals might be green if there's nobody occupying in either direction. But once the dispatcher clears a head block, if you want to call it that, out of a control point into a string of APB blocks, they'll all go as clear as they can based on conditions ahead of them. And every opposing signal on those will go red. Do I have that right?
You got it.
Yep. Hey
I'm
Steve. Hey Steve. I got my designer screen up. Here's how it is in designer. If you can see it.
How are you projecting a screen? That's awesome. I
I'm just
probably
I just I just reversed the camera on my phone, so it's not looking at me.
okay,
I'm just
got
looking
it.
at the screen. So that the block right here, because we have two intermediates in between the home signals there.
I see
It's
this.
for that block. Just make sure that you have the APB marked right there,
Okay.
and
That's
it'll
a
work.
great
It'll work exactly the way you're looking for it to. Rodney explained that perfectly.
well, Rob, I appreciate you. I was I have my designer screen up too, and I was gonna try something like that, but we don't have screen sharing, but I use
Right.
my same computer for my Zoom. So that's smart that you have two different ones.
Yeah, I always use a Zoom on my phone. I don't have the Zoom on the computer, so but that way I'm able to flip my camera on. I can actually show my screen. So,
So looking at that between 15 and 9,
hmm.
looking at 9 as you're proceeding to the left, that little lollipop looking signal is going to, that one, yeah, is going to be protecting the block to its left. Does that sound right? Correct, I
Uh,
mean?
no, that's actually for the eastbound signal, if I recall correctly.
Uh, well, I don't understand eastbound and westbound on your railroad, so that's
Okay,
why
all
I'm
right.
left and right.
Westbound's going left on this part of the screen, and eastbound is going right.
Okay. So you're saying that that signal, even though just optically it appears that it's protecting a movement to the west, it's actually protecting a movement to the east. It's
Correct.
protecting entry into the block that it is in.
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
And and
I get
and
it.
and that took me a couple tries to understand that because I had it flip-flop before. So that's just a
Yeah, I've had that problem where I put a signal where I think it's supposed to go, and then I clear it, and it clears the block in the opposite direction.
correct. Yep. That's exactly what happened to me.
I love
So,
your interlocking there that has one track crossing a three tracks there. That's pretty clever looking. I
oh,
love it.
the diamond up here. Yep, that's the one we were having an issue, still having the issue lining across. That was one thing Rodney's been working on for us.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of diamonds, but none of them involve more than one track crossing one other track. So that's
Yeah.
probably why mine's simple and doesn't need extra help. It
Right,
works.
ours is pretty complex. I mean, it looks really cool out in the field, but yeah, ours is a bit more complex than everybody else's.
I'd love to see it one day, but okay. Well, thank you for
Yeah,
taking your time to help me
no
understand.
problem.
That
Yeah,
is something I'm going to start implementing.
yeah. There's the whole screen. That's what the whole layout looks like there. But yeah, that's one. This is the only spot on the whole layout where we have two intermediate signals between interlockings. So you're
Looks like you have three, or am I misreading that?
well, it's two. It's There's a set of signals right here, one in each direction, and then these as well, one in each direction.
Okay, so
So
two. I get it.
yeah, yeah. That's the only spot on the layout. It's like that. A lot of spots. It's interlocking, and there's one, two, three other spots where there's one intermediate between interlockings, like right here. There's one intermediate there.
Very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to show. I figured I'd just bring it up and show it to you, so you had a visual example of it. But Rodney explained that perfectly. What you're looking for there. So,
Thank you very much, both
oh,
of
you're
you.
welcome. No problem. No problem.
Looks like we're the happy fun ball group. We seem to always be on these calls. I'm extremely fascinated with all of this. I do have a friend who may start to get onto some of these because he is building a new railroad, but it's based on Northeastern railroading, and I don't want to mischaracterize, but I know it has some B&O signaling and lots of position light signals, and he's probably going to be looking for some advice on that once he gets started with it.
Yeah, well, there really isn't that much difference because it's handled down in the hardware.
That's what I thought, right? So if you have a signal decoder or whatever the right word is, and you tell it I want the clear aspect, and it'll know which three lights have to be lit.
Right, right.
Gotcha.
So you have to tell it. So what you probably he'd have to do is wire it up. Again, like you say, it depends upon the signal decoder. If you wired all three greens in parallel, then you say I want to make it green, then all three would come on. And
Exactly. That makes
so,
sense, Rodney. Thank you.
hmm and yeah, the thing to remember about the signals is that they prevent entry into a block, not exit from a block.
Exactly.
And
Okay.
so when you looked at what Rob had, the little signals were on the end of a block. So the signal is attached to the block that the icon is on, not the opposite block.
I see.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yep. Is there anything else you're working on, Rodney, or has it calmed down a bit since the ops thing there in Denver?
I'm trying to get this release out. Um, and I got done re-editing I've re-edited the designer manual, and I did another walkthrough on the CATS manual.
Oh,
Um,
excellent.
and I was kind of waiting for your feedback before I do anything else. And that's bizarre about why that didn't get fixed. It must not got in the load somehow. So
Right.
I need to look at it
Okay.
because I did a diff and it looked like it was in there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try it again when I go over to the layout next. But and I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting different results.
Right. Yeah. We had that happen on LCC with a couple of things here in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, you're spot on with that.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Yeah. Hope everybody's doing good.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yeah, we are.
Doing great.
Steve, how are you?
Oh,
I'm
I,
doing well, thank you. Oh, Steve Black,
Yeah.
probably, but too many Steves on the doggone call.
Right.
yeah, yeah. I've been spending a lot of time with LCC and some of the problems are what I have. Like you get to the end of a group, and
Mhm.
I forget to put the last in,
Oh yeah, been there, done that. I know that
and
feeling.
boy, I'm just scratching my head trying to figure out why 3 or 4 logic cells don't work. And I even replaced a tower node thinking that it was bad. And after I replaced the tower node, I still had the same problem. And of course it was, I had came to an end of a group and I didn't change it to last.
Yep.
And boy, talk about pulling your hair out
Mm-hmm.
on
Yep.
something.
I know the feeling. It,
Yeah.
it's either that or I forget to put it as V1 only or V1 and V2. I've done that before. I've put
Uh,
wrong event IDs and different rules for the math. So, oh yeah, all kinds of different things have happened before. Yep, and like I said, you pull your hair out trying to figure it out, and it's something real simple.
yeah. Once I go back and look at it and uh, go down in logic cells numeric wise and then come across it, or on the last cell I won't put a exit group where it
Mm-hmm.
evaluate next, so then goes into the next group. And yeah, it's been kind of a headache, but having graduated to the newer system where they don't have logic cells,
Mm-hmm.
still struggling with the old way.
So you're using a Q now?
No, I have not graduated to that.
Yeah, we didn't go that direction. We don't have any Qs. We've I'm sure you heard me say we've got all of our ABS in now, and it's like 34 nodes or 33. It's one or the other, but yeah, they're all single LCCs. There's no queues involved. Thankfully, that stuff's over my head.
Well, it sounds like you got everything up and running though.
Yeah, everything's running right. So we're real happy with it. But yeah, it's amazing how you miss one digit or one drop down box, and the whole
Yeah,
operation goes in the can because you don't know what's going on with it.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Rodney Black,
Hmm.
what you and I had talked about was uh, trying the appearance on the
Hmm.
CATS dispatcher. Um, I've had different results. It'll go back and reset my turnouts the way it wants them. And when I do the layout refresh,
Hmm.
and where I would have thought it would just um, read the JMRI sensors and then say, okay, this is how we should have the turnouts. So, or
Yeah,
the,
that's what it's supposed to do.
okay, well, that's kind of what I thought when you and I talked. And I might have something funny about the CATS dispatcher on the way I do turnouts because, like for a ladder, a yard ladder,
Hmm.
uh, CATS comes up and it wants to show me as the first turnout in that ladder is thrown and go up the ladder that way instead of showing me the main line. Stay on the main in the closed position.
Okay, check and make sure that the closed position is your normal route.
Yeah. Um, that's what I thought. But maybe it's because the way my tracks were laid out to save space for the yard. So I've got the main line has a turnout. Let's say you could go to the right, and then immediately there's another turnout that could go to the right, and then those two turnouts each have their own turnout. So I get four
Hmm.
tracks,
Hmm.
and that's where it seems to be getting um, messed up or confused or I'm not setting it up right, evidently.
Yeah, what you're talking about is there's a term for it, and I'm spacing out on how you're doing the ladder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna open it up right here at the computer and see. I'm pretty sure I've got. Uh, uh, points. So basically, I got one turnout going to the right, the next turnout's going to the right, and then they.
Compound ladder. That's the phrase I'm thinking of. It's called a compound ladder.
Okay, yeah, I know that they're set. The first one set the normal route is, in this case, it goes to the left. And I'll check the next one there. And yeah, the next one is normal routes to the left. And then on the other end of the yard, I've got the right-hand ones. I've got the same thing. 2 right-hand turnouts in a row. And the normal route should be left or right and not up or down. And I've come to find right. Get any other ideas?
No, and it could be the way it's being drawn. Yeah, I'd have to look at. I don't think I've ever tried to draw a compound ladder.
Okay. I'm just checking to make sure that I'm not misleading you. No, yeah, and both ends of the yard, the normal route should be left to right or right to left, and when it comes up, it wants to go diverge and go down through the yard. And the reason I did that because I have curved turnouts,
Mm-hmm.
so I got more space by
Sure.
using 3 curved turnouts than I would have by having straight ones. Well, anyway, I'll mess around with it some more and see what I can come up with. So, you guys out east waiting for the big boy to show up?
Yeah, Steve, it's actually coming into Buffalo on Tuesday. And then it's on display here all day Wednesday, then it leaves Thursday. So we're in preparation for that. We're actually um, planning on having a party Wednesday and probably running the layout Wednesday and whatnot with a lot of the guys being in town. So yeah, it's a big to do. They're expecting 30 to 40,000 people here for it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a mall about a mile and a half from the NS yard where they're putting it on display, and they're not allowing anybody to park at the yard. They're running continuous shuttles all day from the mall back and forth. So it's going to be pretty crazy here Wednesday.
Yeah, sounds like it. It was here overnight in Cedar Rapids
Mhm.
Sunday night. So I got it going across the Cedar River Bridge. I fly a drone and
Okay,
got some drone footage that actually turned out pretty good.
nice.
Yeah, I was then I the day before I got it out in the cornfield, but the corn's not very high yet, so it was okay. It's quite a machine.
Did you post on YouTube? Did you post 2 videos?
No, I have two videos, but the only one I put out was on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was nice. I got the reflection. The river was pretty quiet, so it was pretty smooth, and then I got the reflection off the water as it went across the bridge there. So it turned out nice. It was a nice morning.
Yeah, well, because somebody else posted a drone video from the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, that's yeah, CalCam, and he does wonderful work with the drone. He daily publishes uh, stuff. He goes out early morning and, or way late at night and does shots of the sea rapids um, and does some hyperlapse. If you follow him on Facebook, I'm always amazed at how much work and effort he puts into stuff, and they're beautiful videos. CALCAM, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. He's a train enthusiast too. Otherwise, I don't have much more to say.
Is it going back through Cedar Rapids, Steve, when it goes back west, or no?
No, I think it heads down St. Louis.
Okay, gotcha.
Sitting back. No, it only went east. Now, a couple of years back, it did come west through Cedar Rapids, but the weekend trip it's headed east, and I think goes up Buffalo, like you said, and then down. It's going to be on Horseshoe Curve. I think I read that too. There'll be a lot of people watching that, um, and I think that the route would be up the hill there at Altona, Pennsylvania. So it should be quite a sight. There's a lot of videos on Facebook, people, guys that are following that, posting stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when it goes over Horseshoe because I keep reading they're like blocking areas off and they're only allowing a certain number of people in the park and all kinds of stuff. It's quite the fiasco at the moment, but you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, because there's limited parking.
right.
Yeah, it'll be quite a sight. Of course,
Yeah.
with the drone, you can park, you know, a ways away. You're supposed to keep line of sight, never let it go out of your sight. But uh, this drone will fly 12 miles. It won't come back, but it'll fly 12 miles straight. So,
Yeah, it's in Chicago now, I believe. I
yeah,
think that's where it is.
yeah, probably is.
Yeah, because let's see, because it comes in Tuesday, and that's from Conneaut, Ohio. That's where it's staying Monday, and then so Sunday it's going through Fostoria, and I know they're predicting like 40,000 people there, and I mean the town will only like 15,000 people, so it's gonna be. I mean that's gonna be crazy. I mean I'll rail stream up. I subscribe to the webcams on there, so I'll
Sure,
put it on there
sure.
and watch it. Just watch the madness of people, the sea of humanity watching it go by there. But yeah, that's the the fans around here, they talk about the 765 when it ran through here in 2015, and we're like, that was kids play compared to next week.
Yeah,
In terms of people and access and all that. I mean, it's going to be absolute chaos here, just like it is everywhere else.
yeah, yeah. I like the 765 better. They're back in, I think it was the early 80s. They actually went over there and it ran on the TP&W tracks in Illinois. They're on the
Mhm.
Peoria area. So I have Super 8 movies of it shuttling coal cars in the yard. I mean, they actually pulled freight with it, and it was there for 2 weeks. It was, I don't know, it's my favorite locomotive of the bunch.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's about all I got from this side of the world for the moment. If anybody else has anything to
Nope, nothing here.
say,
No, no.
I think I will head on out for now. And Rodney, if anything changes with the results we get, I'll let you know.
Okay.
But like I said, or as you said there, you're probably not going to change anything the second time. But what I'll do is do what I did a couple years ago when we originally had the issue and trace the put the trace items on for the route stick, and I forgot what else. There was one other thing I had, and then I'll just send you the system console log. Maybe that'll help you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, gentlemen. Well, have a wonderful
Mhm.
evening. Good talking with everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep, in July.
Yep. Sounds good, guys. We'll talk to you then.
All righty.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you guys. Thanks for all the advice and help. Bye bye.
Mhm,
Bye-bye.
mhm, bye.